Hello, I'm the official name writer, and today we're going to go over Charizard. I've looked over Charizard before, and I know for a fact there's a lot of very terrible nicknames on Charizard. If you go to just here on Pokemon.net, there's like 270 different results, so this might end up being a very long and painful video. Wish me luck. Dante is one that's kind of generic and could be applied to anything. I don't personally like it, don't care for it, but it's something you are going to be seeing a lot and could be applicable to just about any fire type ever. Slifer, that's another one that, I personally wouldn't use, but I'll acknowledge the idea of the Yu-Gi-Oh card reference, so there's that if that appeals to you. Sriracha, there's something that, again, food related, that I think could work for just about any single fire type ever. Go ahead and mark that under the generic fire type nickname category and you're good. Tabasco, there's another generic fire type thing you could apply to just about anyone. It'll work, but I don't know. It's just not one I would pick for Charizard unless I had no other options, then maybe. Spyro, this one kind of works for any dragon type Pokemon if you wanted to. Charizard's not technically a dragon type, but he is dragon resembling, so if you wanted to do that, you go ahead, but I think maybe a purple dragon might be a better suggestion than a orange one. Blitzkrieg is another one I see all the time everywhere. It's usually more applicable to electric types, so you can mark that as a generic electric type nickname. I'm not entirely so sure why they thought that fit Charizard, but I'm gonna acknowledge that, I guess. Zuko, firebending from Avatar, that one can work. My brother had a little toy dragon he called Zuko, so I feel like that works pretty well. Just, that's up to you if that's a thing. I personally would not do it for Charizard, but it works and it's there. Nova, I'm going to acknowledge because at one point I did use it, not for Charizard, I used it a different fire type, so I'm going to put that under the category of generic fire type nicknames you could use. So there's that. I'm going to disagree and say Heartburn is actually kind of a clever thing, and I do like it. I just don't think it's good for Charizard. But I'm curious if you could ever find a single Pokemon that could maybe work for Heartburn as a name. I don't know. I like wordplay like this as well. This is nice, just I don't know about Charizard. It's not something that I've fallen in love with saying, yes, that's perfect. Kamikaze, there's another one that I think about as a generic name. It could work for just about any single flying type you could give it to and it'll fit, but it's not one that, again, I feel like really resonates and is like, oh, hell yeah, that's a great Charizard name. So it's like, it's there if you want to, but I'm looking for something a bit more. Now, I wouldn't do the spelling error of Wildfire with a Y, but the idea of Wildfire as well kind of works in terms of a generic fire type nickname that you could also, is a play on words. And there's that, I guess, if you want to mark that away as a generic fire type name. Jalapeno, another generic fire type name that works. You could apply it to just about anyone. Not bad, just it's there. Zippo, that's a reference to the anime, and actually I think it's pretty good. Because the idea of a Zippo lighter always having the flame out in Charizard's tail, so it's like that was actually kind of a clever bit on the little anime guys, so I actually like that one. Hotshot, that's one I use, not for Charizard, but I am full on with it, and it actually wasn't even this that gave me the idea. It was actually a bit of dialogue in Pokemon Silver that gave me the idea of Hotshot for a nickname. But in general, I approve of it as a nickname. Chili, that's another one I think that also kind of works as generic fire type. It's food, there you go. Not too much to say about it. Hot potato, I don't even know what the hell could possibly describe a hot potato. You know what? I actually do know what could work for hot potato. Holy crap, I've got an idea. Alright, so this is actually kind of coincidental. It wasn't actually what I was thinking of, but I did, upon seeing this, remember the name of a Yu-Gi-Oh card, Fire, it was like Fire Ryu or something like that? Fire Yaru? And because of that, I'm going to go ahead and say maybe that could work as a generic fire type nickname that you could apply to anyone, including Charizard. That's not what this says, but it came to mind when I read it, so I'm going to count that anyway. Hothead, there's another one where it's like, I haven't used it yet, but it works in the same vein of Hotshot, where you could go ahead and apply it to just about any fire type. It has wordplay, it exists, and it just fits just about anyone you want it to. It's just nothing particularly special. Diablo kind of works in that same way as well, kind of like how we also mentioned Dante. There's just your typical generic little fire thing that fits just about anyone. Hot sauce, there's another one that I actually decided, I figured a better one that would fit hot sauce. I think Slugma would actually be a good choice for hot sauce because it's more in the lines of sauce, but that inspiration came from this nickname, but there's that for Charizard, I guess, if you don't know what sauce is. Firebolt, that one we reached the end of it. That I think of Harry Potter, his broom, and I actually have that written down as a maybe one day I'll use it kind of thing. I think if you wanted to use that, maybe Talonflame might be a better suggestion, because at least I think Talonflame's faster. I don't know, I guess I thought more of along the lines of a bird, and I guess Charizard's a flying type too. It's there, I guess, it's just not what I would personally use. Here's my favorite thing real quick. So Charizard was like over 270 suggestions, and then when you get to Charmeleon, you just reach the end and it's a single page. And I really like that, and I also think it's funny because people, they focus more on one specific one instead of the whole evolutionary line. So as a result, it'll go over quickly. That's why you didn't see Ivysaur in the last one, because there was like 8 suggestions and they were all bad and not worth talking about. Mercury, I think that works when you think about the planet, or I guess just the idea of what Mercury is. You could apply it to any fire type. Ifrit is a thing I see a lot, and I remember someone using it for some. I know Boo used it for something, I just don't remember what it was, but that's a common one you're going to see as well. I don't particularly care for it, but you might, so there you go. Mushu, I feel like would probably work. Well, I think Mushu would work pretty well with Charizard, considering they're both red dragons. So, is it one I would go with? No, but is it one that I think fits? Yes. Firefighter as wordplay would work better with a firefighting type. But the thing is, it's so on the nose, I'm not so sure I would even recommend that. I think Hickory could work for Charizard because Hickory smoked, and then Charizard shiny is a black, so I guess if you wanted to do that, that could work. Again, I personally wouldn't, but it's there. I don't particularly care for the idea of Hephaestus, but I'm going to go ahead and acknowledge it just for any of you that care about mythology. Vesuvius, that's one I've seen before, and I mean, although it could work, I feel like there's the creativity there is a little bit lacking. Alright, my own ignorance here on Maleficent. I mean, I didn't even think about it, but yeah, I guess Maleficent kind of works too. Probably work better for a different dragon, but I guess if you wanted to use that, you could mark that as a generic dragon-type name. Celsius, I think that one could work for any fire type as well. I don't know, it's not a bad-sounding one, it's just kind of there. I guess since we mentioned Zuko, it's only fair to point out Azula as well, as that was Zuko's sister, I think? So, I guess if you want to do that as another Avatar throw reference, you could do that. I'm not entirely sure why this guy thinks Charizard X is a different Pokemon from Charizard, but whatever, this is what showed up on Google, so I have to talk about it. Sort of, not really. All of these are terrible! That's it. Charcoal, that's an item, no. Spitfire, that's a type of Pokemon, Magmar, so no. In general, that's gonna be my thing, because Magmar is the Spitfire Pokemon. I just instantly do not like the idea of it being a nickname. And then Draco, like, I don't even know what a Drayfire is, but that just sounds like something a 8-year-old would think up on their own. So, no, all of them are terrible. Alright, this one's our last stop. We've looked over everything on the first page. Draco, no. Red, you could use that. I don't really think that would be a good idea. Drake, that's a rapper. Spyro, we've already mentioned that. Igneel, that sounds stupid. Mushu, that works. That, I don't even know what the hell that is. Valoo, actually, I'm okay with, because I thought it was super cute during the World of Light when there was the spirit battle against Valoo and they used Charizard in the Wii Sports Resort Volcano. I actually really like that. So Valoo, that's not bad. Zippo, that was one of the good. Zard, that's not even a name, that's just part of it. Akashi, I don't know what that means. Blister, that's morbid. I mean, I suppose you could do that, but no. Amber, that's one you're going to see a whole bunch, because they're like, it's like Ember. Yes, it's like Ember. That's there. I don't particularly care for it. I don't like it, because it also works as a feminine-only name. We're trying to avoid gender specifications. Ren, I don't even know what that is unless it's accompanied by Stimpy, so that goes everything there. And that's the first page of Google. Some of the things I did click on and look over, but there was nothing worth talking about, like for one of the GameFAQs deals. Okay, so there is a file I found. I don't remember how I did it, but somehow I found a file on like a Google Drive thing, and it's like a big list of nicknames, and it goes over, you know, every single one thus far, and is still being updated because I see something like Gen 8 on there as well. But this has a few that I want to end with as well. We didn't go over Venusaur because, again, there wasn't anything good there, so there wasn't any point in talking about it. But Chipotle is one that, like, it works for just about any sort of fire type ever, and you could use it, and it's there. And that's the only thing on here that's worth talking about. So I am going to end with, I did not have a personal recommendation for this. This was another case where, when growing up, we used mine and my brother's names to like joke around with it, so we called him Chozard, and that was the thing that we've been doing for like 15 years. So that's my thing, but that's not one I would recommend for you. But the one I think is the best out of all of them is Zippo. I also have written down the Lizard as a reference to Shippage's Starter Squad animation. That was something I came up with myself. I thought almost like, oh, that'd be a cool nod if anyone ever thought to do that, because that's what they call them in the show. Spyro was one that was, I guess, something. Maleficent, it's weird, I really don't remember seeing that, but apparently I have it written down, so yeah, Firebolt and then Chipotle, those were some of the ones. But like, the thing with looking over this today was there was a lot that were just like applicable to any sort of one, period. It doesn't matter who you pick, it's gonna fit. Some of the ones that didn't fit that were like Zippo, the Lizard, Spyro, and Maleficent. Like, those are like very case specific, you can't apply it to anybody. But there you go, that's me. I guess my recommendation is Zippo or the Lizard.